Tangela and Maractus are two basic stage grass-type Pokemon with not a lot going for them. I mean, Tangela at least evolves into Tangrowth, which is quite the formidable Pokemon, but in the Abelucid region, they'll both have a new pre-evolution and a new evolution. Basically, Tangela and Maractus will be middle stage Pokemon. I picked these because the inspiration for this is Roselia, which went from a basic but final stage Pokemon to a middle stage in one generation. I figured grass types deserve to be the focus of my first one of these videos. Oh, and the region this takes place in is Abelucid. It's like Hisui in Legends Arceus, but Unova and in the future. Fairies went extinct because they suck and I don't like them. A Tangela pre-evolution was pretty easy to design, not gonna lie. Basically just Tangela but with less noodles and more baby-like proportions. I'm trying to do more of a Gen 2 style, but I never said I was good at that. So when Tangela held a destiny knot while doing business, a breeder found an egg that they were definitely not expecting. Tangy is a grass-type Pokemon with the abilities Chlorophyll, Solar Power, and hidden ability Regenerator. It's officially a baby Pokemon and has horrible stats to reflect that. There's not really much to say about it competitively, other than don't use it. At least it outclasses Sunkern. Tangy isn't really useful for much, but it's a beloved companion for many trainers around Abelucid. When it's afraid, it puts its vine in its mouth like a baby sucking their thumb. The vines apparently taste refreshing like mint. Tangy evolves into Tangela when it levels up after learning Bind at level 16. But in the Abelucid region, Tangela can evolve again, and though it can choose Tangrowth by learning Ancient Power, it's got another option. The fastest Tangela can shed most of their vines to become a Pokemon built for speed. Design-wise, I went for something kinda Sneasler-y, though I designed this before Sneasler released. Fun fact, this was actually the first Abelucid Pokemon I made. It was before I even came up with the Abelucid thing though, so technically the first Abelucid Pokemon was Dragorim, then Whimsicott. Check out that original Dragon video by the way. It's kinda old, but with Unova in the spotlight again, I've heard people talking about a Dragon Fairy Kyurem, and I'm like, hey, I did that. I'm working on a short to put more of a spotlight on it, but I don't know if that'll come out before this does. Anyway, when Tangela's speed goes higher than 50 after leveling up, it evolves into Tangeloose. Tangeloose is a grass-type Pokemon with the abilities Chlorophyll, Solar Power, and hidden ability Regenerator. I don't know if it's technically more useful than Tangrowth, but it's got a completely different niche. At least it's not Hydrapple over Appletun kind of thing. But yeah, it's an offensive Pokemon with great speed and a solid special attack with Solar Power. While Power Whip is probably its main move aesthetically, it would definitely go for special attacks in the competitive battlefield. Its move pool is lacking, but a Spec Solar Beam is really strong under harsh sunlight. I know it doesn't have any new or signature moves or abilities, but I made a little page for its move pool because I'm like that. It gets Flying moves, Rock moves, Ground moves, and U-Turn, so I would probably run Solar Power specs with Solar Beam, Giga Drain, Earth Power, and U-Turn. It's not perfect, but that Solar Beam is really a nuke if it's not resisted. Tangeloose uses the butterfly-shaped loops on its back to latch onto something when its arms are full. Its arms and legs extend with perfect precision, allowing it to be an incredible climber no matter what's attached to its back. Well, it might not be as good if 1,000 kilograms are attached to its back. While its vines grow back quickly when cut or torn off, they're not really useful for much. They taste bitter and don't seem to do much in medicine. Tangeloose helps climbers with safety and it brings goods across mountains and cliffs. Now onto Maractus. When it accidentally held a sticky barb while hanging out with another Pokemon in its egg group, a breeder found an egg that they were once again very surprised about. I designed it kinda like Ralts, with bigger arms and little buds on its head instead of the flowers and sprouts that Maractus has. Here's Tinytus. I'm not sure how I want to pronounce it. Tinytus, I don't know. Tinytus is a grass-type Pokemon with the abilities Water Absorb, Chlorophyll, and hidden ability Storm Drain. It's a baby Pokemon with horrible stats, but maybe not unusable in Little Cup. I don't really play Little Cup though, so I can't speak too much on it. Not gonna lie, I tried, but I'm dog water at that meta. Anyway, Tinytus likes to sit outside in rain or shine, and it's really quite easy to take care of. While it usually prefers to be outside, it's also okay being inside. Just watch the spikes. It's a great companion for most people, though maybe not for young children. Tinytus evolves into Maractus when it levels up during harsh sunlight. the Appleseed region, Maractus can evolve again. This evolved form is even more built for the desert and can swim under the sand. I designed it kinda like a mermaid, but it's as far from water as possible. I was really close to making it dragon type, but I've made like 12 dragons for the Relic Desert, so this could be less of a special Pokemon. To be fair to me though, the Relic Desert takes up more than half of the region thanks to climate change, so I'm sure it can fit plenty of mons. This Pokemon is found close to the ruins of what used to be Castelia City. So when Maractus levels up after learning an updated Spike Cannon at level 41, it evolves into Siarena. Siarena is a grass ground type Pokemon with the abilities Sand Rush, Chlorophyll, and hidden ability Storm Drain. Spike Cannon is now updated to 30 base power, meaning it maxes out at 150 when it hits 5 times. It also comes with a drop to both of its own defenses though, like Close Combat. It also learns an assortment of other moves from Psychic to Flare Blitz. Though its stats are kinda average, I think Sand Rush or Chlorophyll would actually be really strong in OU. It's bulky enough that it could use Growth Under Sun and use its wide move pool, or literally just Solar Beam, to deal huge damage to opponents while not immediately dying right after. It's kinda giving Venusaur. I'm sure it would also be great in Sand as a ground resist with Specs or something. In doubles, even Storm Drain might get some usage. Siarena always does its best to look clean and spiffy even in the middle of a sandstorm. It sings and dances while it's shaking its tail that makes deep sounds kinda like a hip-hop beat. Yeah, this Pokemon is awesome. If you hear music in the desert, it's probably a band of Maractus with Siarena as their leader. They enjoy having an audience, but some may get upset if you have nothing to give them after they play a song. Siarena is generally not a dangerous Pokemon, but it can cause trouble when upset. It's known to cause a bit of tomfoolery, perhaps some moderate horseplay, minor levels of mischief even. Anyway, Siarena is definitely that guy, and you know someone's chill when they own one. It enjoys playing music with people and Pokemon as long as it's in the spotlight. This one's definitely top 3 of my favorite Pokemon I've made. That's about it for this video. Check out my Patreon where you can subscribe to for just $1 a month to get your name at the end of my videos. Links in the description. Thanks Captain Co-op. In my next Pokemon video, I'll make new forms for the Darmanitan line, or I'll show another one of my favorite Pokemon I've made. Hope to see you then, consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.